My beloved, what if I told you that the struggle you've been living under, the pressure, the exhaustion, the aching question of, why not me, has nothing to do with how hard you hustle, nothing to do with how much you know, and absolutely nothing to do with your worth. Before we go deeper, let your breath soften, let your shoulders drop, let your spirit rise to meet these sacred words. And if you are here, I ask you to pause and comment below. Where are you watching from on this earth? It stirs something holy in me to see how this voice finds you. Across oceans, across timelines, across destinies. Now listen. What if I told you that your current financial reality, the numbers in your bank account, the silence after applying, the tightness in your chest, is not punishment, not karma, not a measure of effort, but an echo of the words you've spoken over your life. Every time you casually whispered, "I'm broke." Every time you sighed and muttered, "I can't afford it." Every time you half joked, "Money never stays with me." You weren't just describing reality, you were scripting it, etching it into your subconscious, releasing commands into the sacred law. This is not superstition, this is spiritual structure. You've been unknowingly casting spells over your money, with nothing more than your own voice. Have you ever wondered why, despite your labor, despite the careful budgets, the late nights, the books, the workshops, you always seem to loop back to the same financial threshold? Why does overflow feel like a myth? Why does someone else always seem to attract what you've been praying for? Here is the sacred key. Money does not follow your hours. It follows your utterance. There is a spiritual law, ancient and precise, that governs wealth not by logic, not by strategy, but by decree. This law does not weigh your GPA. It does not ask for your resume. It does not calculate your debt-to-income ratio. It listens for one thing: what you consistently speak aloud. Yes, your voice is the wand, and your financial life? A mirror held up to your declarations. Pause now. Reflect. How many times this very week did you say something rooted in lack? I'm barely getting by. Things are tight. Maybe someday. And each time the universe bowed to your word and said, "As you decree, so shall it be." You thought you were venting. You were creating. You thought you were surviving. You were prophesying. Stay with me. Don't let logic drag you away, because what I am about to reveal will change the way you speak forever. This is not about surface-level positivity. This is not about repeating affirmations while secretly panicking inside. This is not about pretending you're rich while fearing the rent. This is spiritual law. It is precision. It is vibration. And it works. Florence Scovel Shinn, the sacred teacher whose wisdom echoes through generations, taught something revolutionary. Money does not follow effort. It follows speech. Let me say that again for the soul that's listening. Money does not follow effort. It follows speech. The wealthy, whether they realize it or not, have mastered a single principle. They speak abundance. They bless their money. They refuse to curse their wallet with fear or sarcasm, and their life rises to meet their declaration. This is not fantasy. This is how divine law operates. Right now, in this breath, you have the power to redirect your entire financial future, not by gaining more knowledge, but by reclaiming your voice. A sacred technique exists, one that takes just minutes a day, no advanced degree, no background in finance, no hustle energy needed, only your tongue, only your alignment, only your bold willingness to declare what heaven already agreed to. Before I guide you into that, I ask, if this truth is activating something deep within you, subscribe. Not just to this channel, but to your new self, to the part of you that knows this is the missing piece. This is the bridge between your prayers and your paycheck. You see, most financial teachings, while practical, operate on human logic. They tell you to budget every breath, to wait, to be cautious, to think small, to doubt anything too beautiful to be real. But Spirit says the opposite. Spirit says, speak it, and then it shall be. Declare it, and then it must move. You do not speak after it appears. You speak before it is visible, because your voice leads reality, not the other way around. Consider this. Every invention, every breakthrough, every miracle that shifted the course of humanity began with a word. Not a bank loan, not a business plan, not a degree, a word. The Wright brothers spoke flight. Prophets spoke healing. Reformers spoke justice. Poets spoke freedom. And then the world conformed. Why should it be different with your money? Let me take you deeper. There's a sacred story. Ancient, divine, feminine in wisdom. A widow, a little meal, a little oil, that's all she had. Lack was visible. Desperation was logical. But faith whispered another possibility. A prophet came and asked for what she had left. And instead of speaking from fear, she gave from a place of divine speech. She didn't say, I can't. She didn't say, it's not enough. She acted as if it were, and heaven obeyed her act. Her oil did not run dry. Her meal did not end. Why? Because she refused to speak as though her condition had final authority. She gave her voice the throne, not her reality. This, beloved, is not just a story. This is a spiritual template for wealth transformation. When you declare supply before you see it, when you bless your purse before it's full, when you give thanks before you get the deposit, you are aligning yourself with divine law, a law that cannot withhold from you what your word has authorized. Your voice becomes the bridge from what is zero to what must be. You don't need to know how. You only need to declare what. Speak, and your universe must reconfigure. Declare, and doors must swing open. Command, and the currents of provision must rearrange themselves to carry what you've called. Every moment you've spoken from fear, it can be reversed. Every phrase of limitation that carved grooves in your subconscious, it can be overwritten. Every ancestral script of poverty that's echoed through your lineage, it can be silenced and replaced by one brave, awakened voice. Yours. Now, write this in the comments as your first decree. I choose abundance, because something sacred is unfolding here. This is no longer information. This is an initiation. You are not here by accident, and you do not leave here the same. The greatest financial shift you'll ever experience does not begin with evidence. It begins with authority. It begins with your decree. But here's the misunderstanding that keeps millions stuck. They are waiting for confirmation before speaking affirmation. They want to see the dollars before they declare the wealth. They want proof in their hands before praise pours from their mouths. But spiritual law does not respond to waiting. It responds to willingness. It whispers, speak now, see later. It commands, let your voice lead. Let your faith outrun your facts. You see, the soul that understands this never waits for the world to approve their abundance. They do not need the perfect job offer to declare increase. They do not need the debt paid off before they say, I am free. Because the moment you declare from divine identity, not emotional instability, heaven sends a ripple into motion. Yes, your decree is not a suggestion. It is an instruction to the invisible, and invisible things obey. Consider this. Every object in your room, every piece of furniture, your phone, your car, even your home, all of it started as a spoken intention. It passed through the gateway of language before it became form. The same is true for your finances. But most people, perhaps even you, have been speaking from a place of fear, a place of frustration, a place of inherited poverty, scripts passed down like spiritual hand-me-downs. We can't afford that. Money doesn't grow on trees. You have to work hard for every dollar. And those phrases, once innocent, became decrees, spells, wands swung in reverse. But the moment you become aware of what you've been declaring, you gain the power to reverse it. You can interrupt the ritual. You can pause the lack-based liturgy. You can introduce a higher law, one that doesn't argue, one that doesn't delay, one that doesn't discriminate, only aligns. It doesn't matter if your account balance is low. It doesn't matter if your job is unstable. It doesn't matter if nobody in your family has ever been wealthy. Divine law is not interested in your past. It is activated by your present speech. That means, right now, yes, this very breath, is powerful enough to change your entire financial trajectory. But here's the key. Most people speak abundance once or twice. Then they look around and say, it's not working. They dig up the seed before it sprouts. They curse their own harvest with contradiction. They go from, I am wealthy on Monday to, I'm still broke by Wednesday. And that wobble, that inconsistency, short-circuits the miracle. Beloved, your words are not casual. They are the currency of creation. You must learn to speak as if it's law, not suggestion, not hope, not maybe. Speak like thunder. Speak like prophecy. Speak like the one who knows she is backed by the wealth of heaven. Right now, the only thing delaying your abundance is your negotiation with appearances. You keep checking the bills. You keep consulting the balance. You keep seeking permission from circumstances to believe. But supply does not ask for permission. It responds to command. Let me say this clearly and unapologetically. Your financial situation is not caused by lack of effort. It is not fixed by better spreadsheets. It is not dependent on external sources. It is shaped by the voice you've given the most repetition to. Every I can't is a code. Every money is hard to come by is a program. Every I hope this works out is a vibration. But now you are waking up. You are learning how to speak first, before the evidence, before the logic, before the miracle. Because heaven already said yes, you just haven't been speaking in agreement. So today, right now, you begin again. With your voice. Say this aloud. Divine supply meets every need. Unexpected money flows to me now. I speak abundance, and heaven responds. You do not need to feel it at first. You only need to say it rhythmically, repeatedly, ruthlessly. Your feelings will follow your words. Your emotions will catch up to your declarations, but they do not get to lead. Your voice does. When you rise each morning, before you check your phone, before the world fills your mind with pressure and noise, you must speak. Your first words are your first command, your first decree, your first swing of the royal scepter. If you begin your day saying, "This is a perfect day," miracles now unfold in divine order. Unexpected money flows to me now. Then all of heaven begins organizing itself around your sound. This is not superstition. This is system. Just as gravity does not require belief to function, spiritual law does not require emotion to work. It only requires consistency. So I ask you, will you be the one who speaks wealth until wealth responds? Will you become the woman who silences logic long enough to give faith the microphone? Will you become the one who speaks first and waits with joy for the evidence to catch up? Because your voice is the seed, and your harvest will not fail to appear. Say this now. I speak first. I decree abundance. I declare overflow. Then go about your day as if angels are already organizing the meeting, the contract, the check, the gift, the release. Because they are. Behind every transformation you've ever dreamed of, behind every miracle you've secretly longed for, is a single decision to trust your voice more than your visible conditions. This is where most lose the miracle. They wait to feel certain. They wait to feel ready. They wait to feel rich. But your voice was never meant to wait. It was meant to lead. The financial shift you seek will not come through emotion. It will not come through endless preparation. It will not come through spreadsheets or formulas or guru secrets. It will come the moment you open your mouth and say what you were too afraid to say yesterday. The universe does not respond to hesitation. It responds to holy instruction. This is why declarations matter, not because they sound pretty, but because they are blueprints for your reality. Say the words and all the raw materials of creation gather like obedient servants, ready to build the house you just described. When you say, "I am divinely provided for," the law of abundance does not argue. It simply gets to work. When you say, "My supply is limitless and tailored just for me," the channels begin to rearrange. When you say, "I expect miracles as my normal," your entire nervous system starts recalibrating to match that frequency. This is not imagination. This is divine infrastructure. Your nervous system, your subconscious mind, your energetic field, they are all listening. They are all reacting. They are all reshaping themselves every time you speak. This is why you must speak with rhythm, with ritual, with sacred repetition. The same way you brush your teeth daily, you must brush your mouth clean of lack. You cannot afford to speak carelessly. You cannot afford to curse your own wallet with sarcasm. You cannot afford to describe your circumstances as if they are final, because the moment you do, you shut the gate to supernatural supply. So now, right now, we create new grooves, new rituals, new spiritual circuitry, and we begin with the most fertile ground of all, the morning. The first words you speak after waking are the first commands you issue for the day. If you begin your morning rehearsing stress, recounting bills, scrolling emails, inviting the chaos of the external world, you've forfeited your throne. But if you begin your morning with sacred decree, if you start your day by speaking as a spiritual sovereign, the entire atmosphere must bend. Your day cannot resist the vibration you send it. So here is your new holy habit. Upon waking, before checking your phone, before greeting another voice, before remembering yesterday's weight, you whisper this into existence. This is a perfect day. Miracles now unfold in divine order. Unexpected money flows to me now. Do not try to feel it. Do not try to believe it. Just say it, like spiritual law, like it's already written in heaven, like it's tattooed on eternity. Because it is. Every time you say these words, you plant another seed. You reinforce another groove. You install a new expectation into your subconscious. And your subconscious mind is not a critic. It is an architect. It does not question. It builds. Whatever blueprints you hand it, it follows. If you feed it scarcity, it builds smallness. If you feed it wealth, it builds overflow. You are not hoping. You are initiating. You are not begging. You are commanding. Now pause, breathe, and write this in the comments as your covenant. Perfect day declared. This is how you rewrite your relationship with money, not through effort, but through morning fire, through speaking before feeling, through commanding before calculating, through rhythm before reason, and the rhythm continues. Throughout your day, when you encounter a bill, do not say, "How will I pay for this?" Say, "Divine supply meets every need." When you see a price tag that scares you, do not say, "That's too much." Say, "My wealth matches my desire." When an unexpected expense arrives, do not panic. Do not spiral. Do not rehearse fear. Instead, declare, "Money flows to me from expected and unexpected sources." Let your voice be the cure for every financial fear. You see, your mind has been trained to react, but your soul was built to declare. Every declaration becomes a seed. Every seed becomes a vibration. Every vibration becomes a magnet. You are not here to react to life. You are here to design it. This is why most never experience true financial transformation, because they confuse knowledge with activation. They read books, they watch videos, they write notes, but they do not speak. And spiritual law is activated only when speech is present. If you remember nothing else from today, remember this. The universe responds not to what you want, but to what you consistently say. And if you want to change what shows up in your mailbox, your inbox, your bank account, change what comes out of your mouth. Beloved, the miracle begins the moment you realize it is not your wallet that is broken. It is your words that have been misprogrammed. You were taught to fear the arrival of bills. You were conditioned to clench when it was time to pay. You were trained to expect tightness, to make decisions from limitation, to apologize for wanting more. But that programming is not permanent. It is not divine. It is not your truth. It is software. And software can be rewritten. You do not need a financial advisor to begin your breakthrough. You need to uninstall every phrase that contradicts your inheritance. The most dangerous words are the ones you say on autopilot. When you whisper, "I can't afford that," you are issuing an order. When you sigh, "Money is tight right now," you are sealing a contract with limitation. When you explain your financial past again and again to whoever will listen, you are rehearsing poverty into permanence. This is not poetic exaggeration. This is spiritual circuitry. Your subconscious does not know the difference between imagination and memory. It only knows repetition. It only knows rhythm. And rhythm is law. So every time you casually joke about being broke, you're laying bricks in a house of lack. But every time you choose a new phrase, you're tearing that house down and building a palace of provision instead. So let's begin the holy demolition. Let's substitute the ancient lies with divine decrees. When your mind says, "Hold on tight," there may not be more, you say, "I release with joy and receive with grace." When your past echoes, "Money always slips through my hands," you declare, "Money loves to stay with me. I am a keeper of abundance." When fear whispers, "It's not realistic to expect overflow," you thunder, "I live in a rich, friendly universe. Lavish abundance is my birthright." This is sacred surgery. This is reprogramming through rhythm. This is what Florence Scovel Shinn called the holy scalpel of truth. You are carving new grooves in your consciousness. You are speaking new spiritual software into your subconscious. You are interrupting the echo of centuries with a single brave voice, yours. And every time you choose truth over memory, you reclaim treasure you thought was lost. There is no such thing as loss in divine mind. Every opportunity, every dollar, every gift that seemed to disappear is still accessible through alignment. You do not beg it to return. You command it. You do not chase it. You reclaim it. You do not explain what happened. You declare what is divinely yours. Say this now: nothing is lost. Nothing is missing. I reclaim it all. Not because you feel powerful, but because you are remembering your original identity, the one who never doubted her inheritance. Beloved, the spiritual realm does not recognize begging. It only recognizes bold speech. It is not moved by your fear. It is moved by your frequency. And frequency is established by repetition. So you must declare even when you're trembling. You must speak even when the voice inside says, "It's not working." You must repeat until your nervous system believes you without question. Because here is the secret. You don't speak because you feel it. You speak until you feel it. Your voice is the hammer. Your belief is the house. And the only way to build it is to keep swinging. Most people sabotage their miracles not with silence, but with contradiction. They say, "I am wealthy" at 9 a.m. and say, "I'm so stressed about money" at noon. They tithe with their tongue in the morning and curse their purse by sunset. This is spiritual doublespeak, and it unplugs the power you just generated. So now you learn the sacred art of protection, not of your money, of your mouth. Once you plant the seed, do not dig it up with doubt. Once you decree the breakthrough, do not cancel it with conversation. Once you declare the overflow, do not contradict it with complaint. This is how the masters live, not by perfection, but by rhythm. They speak in the morning, they speak at midday, they speak at night, not out of desperation, but out of dominion. They know that every phrase builds something, so they refuse to build lack with their lips. Will you do the same? If so, write it in the comments now. I protect my seed. I speak only forward. This is your vow. This is your new discipline. This is your sacred rhythm of wealth. Beloved soul, do not be fooled. You are not poor. You are simply repeating a program that never belonged to you. You are not empty. You are echoing patterns passed down like spiritual heirlooms, phrases etched into your lineage by those who didn't know how divine they truly were. But that echo ends with you. You are the interruption. You are the reset. You are the one who speaks a new frequency into your bloodline. And here is the truth that will unfasten the chains around your mouth. You do not owe your pain another sentence. You do not owe your past another explanation. The universe is not waiting for your report. It is waiting for your reversal. So say it with me now. Not from fear, but from fire. I am not who I was. I speak from who I am becoming. And who is that? You are the one who commands wealth with your breath. You are the one whose voice disturbs limitation. You are the one whose declarations open vaults no hand can unlock. This is not positive thinking. This is divine positioning. You are stepping into the identity of abundance, not trying to earn it, not trying to prove it, not waiting for evidence, because abundance is not something you seek. It is someone you become. And becoming happens in the moment you choose speech over silence, truth over memory, prophecy over pattern. You've spent years trying to fix what's broken, but what if nothing was broken? What if you were simply speaking from the wrong seat, the seat of the struggler, the seat of the survivalist, the seat of the one who keeps describing the weather instead of commanding the storm? Beloved, you were never meant to narrate your pain. You were meant to rename your world, and naming begins with your mouth. When you say, "This is a perfect day. My supply is unshakable. I walk in favor and divine timing." You are not hoping. You are initiating. You are announcing the arrival of something your soul already recognizes, even if your eyes haven't seen it yet. You must understand. Your wealth is not ahead of you. It is around you, waiting for your mouth to permit it. And that permission does not come from feeling worthy. It comes from declaring it as law. Most people are waiting for an emotional shift before they speak a financial decree. But in spiritual law, it is reversed. You speak first. You feel later. You act from faith, not evidence. Your emotions are not the gatekeepers of abundance. Your voice is. This is why declarations work, not because they impress the universe, but because they rewrite you. Every declaration is a seed in your subconscious, and the subconscious does not argue. It receives, it records, it reproduces. So when you say, "Money is my friend," I am richly provided for. I receive with ease and give with joy. Your subconscious gets to work gathering the materials, building the beliefs matching your frequency. It doesn't ask questions. It builds the life your voice describes. This is why we do not whisper our wealth. We thunder it. We don't negotiate with fear. We override it with faith. And faith doesn't always feel loud. Sometimes it's a quiet repetition that refuses to quit. So when doubt creeps in, you do not panic. You do not shrink. You do not explain. You simply return to your rhythm. You speak again. I am rich. I am rich. I am rich. Not because it's true on paper, but because it is true in spirit. And the spiritual always births the physical. When the rhythm is sustained, this is where most stop, in the space between declaration and manifestation, in the space between the first seed and the first sprout. But you will not abandon your garden. You will not walk away from the field just as it begins to bloom. You will stay. You will speak. You will water your seed with unwavering praise, because you now understand the rhythm, and rhythm is law. Write it in the comments now. I am becoming the wealth I once begged for, because you are. And your voice is the proof. You've spoken doubt long enough. You've repeated fear like a song on loop. You've echoed lack without realizing you were making it law. But now, beloved, you speak with revelation. You speak with authority. You speak with the rhythm of a soul who remembers, my word is the wand. My voice is the vault. My tongue is the temple. You are no longer guessing. You are governing. And when you govern with divine law, you realize something sacred. The universe has always been listening. It wasn't withholding. It was waiting. Waiting for your alignment. Waiting for your command. Waiting for your agreement with truth. This is why your finances shifted the moment your declarations became consistent. Not occasional, not emotional, consistent. Just like gravity. The law of supply does not care about how you feel. It follows rhythm, not reasoning. So let's deepen the rhythm. Let's bless the wallet. Let's anoint the purse. Let's speak into the circulation that wealth was always meant to be. Every time you spend $1, you are not losing money. You are releasing wealth into flow, and what flows returns. Say this now with holy clarity. As money goes out, money flows in. My purse is never empty. My channels are open and divinely supplied. This, beloved, is the spiritual law of circulation. Earthly thinking clutches. Spirit consciousness circulates. The hoarder is afraid because she believes in finite supply. The abundant soul gives with joy because she knows, what I bless returns to me multiplied. Do you understand? You are not spending from a dying purse. You are spending from a living current, a river of replenishment that never runs dry. Unless your mouth dams it shut, you are not a container. You are a conduit. And money is not your master. Money is your messenger, your servant, your echo. When you declare abundance, money rushes to obey. When you speak overflow, it seeks the nearest door into your life. But when you say, I don't know how this will work, you confuse the channel. When you say, I hope something changes soon, you remove your hands from the wheel. But when you say, wealth surrounds me now, my words magnetize increase. Money moves for me because I speak like heaven already approved my inheritance. All of creation must respond. Do not be deceived by appearances. What looks like delay is often just recalibration. What feels like silence is often divine setup. Heaven does not operate on panic. It operates on permission. And your words are the permission slip. Your declarations are the gate pass. Your rhythm is the signature that says, release it. I'm ready. I speak as one who already has. Now pause, take a sacred breath, and say aloud, with calm confidence, circulation consciousness activated. You are not meant to fear the flow. You are meant to bless it. You are not meant to track every dollar with dread. You are meant to assign it with praise. Every time you tithe with your tongue, every time you offer a praise before you make a petition, you place yourself in the wealth stream of divine rhythm. This is not about pretending. This is about positioning. The wealthy in spirit do not give because they have enough. They give because they know enough is already coming back. They do not ask, what will I have left? They declare, what I give multiplies instantly. So speak over every dollar. Say to it, you are blessed. You return multiplied. You carry my wealth signature wherever you go. Money is not your problem. Lack of language is. Change your language, and money will become obedient again. Write this in the comments now. Money is my messenger. I bless and release. Let it be your new affirmation. Let it be the rhythm you replace fear with. Let it be the decree that reopens every blocked gate. Because, beloved, it's never been about how much money you had. It's always been about how much truth you could hold in your mouth without wavering. And now, you hold truth. You hold power. You hold the wand. Beloved, most people walk the earth like beggars, pleading, hoping, doubting, unaware that they are already account holders in a divine treasury that never runs dry. They speak of debt, but never decree withdrawal. They pray for relief, but never authorize release. Why? Because they do not understand. Heaven runs on instruction, not emotion. The universal bank is not accessed by suffering, nor opened by strategy. It is unlocked by speech. When you declare, "I make my withdrawal from the universal bank," heaven responds, not with hesitation, but with immediate motion. Not because you are loud, but because you are aligned. Not because you are deserving, but because you are daring. Let this land deeply. You are not trying to get money. You are summoning your rightful share from an account that already knows your name. But most people never receive because they call their job source. They call their client source. They call their salary source. And so they shrink themselves to the size of their most visible income stream. But you, beloved, you will no longer confuse a channel with a source. You do not worship the pipe. You honor the flow. Jobs are not sources. They are vessels. Clients are not sources. They are carriers. The source is spirit. Always was. Always will be. So declare this now with the tone of one who knows, my channels are many, but my source is one. And what does that mean? It means you never panic when one channel closes, because a river that flows from spirit cannot be blocked by a single stone. It simply redirects. When your mouth is open in truth, no door can stay shut for long. And when your decree is pure, no channel can remain dry. Now let me show you something even more miraculous. You can write down your spiritual withdrawal as if you were standing at the teller window of heaven. You write the amount. You write the purpose. You sign it with faith. And then you speak it aloud, as one who's already seen it cashed. This is not fantasy. This is faith made visible. Because when you assign purpose to your supply, you magnetize it faster. When you give direction to your abundance, you invite divine acceleration. You are not casting wishes into the wind. You are signing divine checks with your tongue. But beware, beloved. Many of you have unknowingly deposited into the bank of lack for years. Every time you say, "I don't have enough," it always slips away. Nothing ever works out for me. You are adding interest to scarcity. You are strengthening a pattern of insufficiency. You are investing in a kingdom not made for you. But that account is now closed. Today you switch banks. Today you reassign your speech. Today you speak directly into the economy of heaven and say, "This is my divine inheritance. I am funded in full. I withdraw what is already mine." You are not making a request. You are issuing a command, backed by law, sealed by speech, delivered by divine channels. This is how the spiritually wealthy move. They do not hope to be paid. They expect return on every spoken seed. They speak, and money appears. They declare, and angels dispatch. They withdraw, and heaven writes the check. Write this in the comments now. I withdraw from the universal bank with authority. Let the spiritual realm hear it. Let your nervous system believe it. Let your wallet echo it. Because you are no longer a beggar. You are a benefactor of spiritual wealth. And your account has never been empty. Only untapped. But now it flows. Beloved, you've been taught to count what leaves your hand. But you were never taught to bless what leaves your hand. And that's where multiplication begins. The sacred principle of increase does not respond to amounts. It responds to affirmation. $1 spoken over with truth is more powerful than 1,000 hoarded in fear. Because the moment you bless the seed, you awaken its design to multiply. You say, "This dollar is blessed. It returns to me multiplied. It leaves my hand but not my life." And the universe, listening like a devoted steward and says, "Yes, it is done." You must understand, money is not neutral. It carries the energy of your last decree. So when you spend in panic, money becomes frantic. When you give in fear, it leaves without permission to return. But when you send it with blessing, it circles back with increase. Because what you speak over, you give spiritual instruction to. And what you instruct must obey the rhythm of your voice. This is why wealth is not about having more. It is about blessing more. The spiritually rich understand, my words are more valuable than my wage. My voice is more powerful than my vault. They don't ask, how much is this going to cost me? They declare, whatever I spend returns 100-fold. This seed is sacred. This expense is circulation. This outflow is followed by greater inflow. Do you feel the shift? This is no longer about finances. This is about frequency. And frequency is formed by repetition, not emotion, not belief, not hope. Repetition. So every day you speak the truth, not because you feel it, but because you are becoming it. Say this aloud now. Every dollar I release returns to me multiplied under grace in perfect ways. You are no longer the one who clutches. You are the one who commands. You are not begging the seed to grow. You are blessing it and letting divine law handle the return. The sacred key is this: speak before you give. Declare before you release. Bless before you spend. Because without the spoken blessing, your transaction remains in the material world. But with the blessing, it becomes spiritual circulation. This is the secret of divine wealth. You do not need to increase your labor. You only need to increase your language. Because when your words are multiplied, everything you touch multiplies too. Now pause. Put your hand over your wallet, your purse, your bank card, your cash app, whatever represents money in your life. Hold it with reverence and declare, you are not empty. You are never lacking. You are a channel of divine wealth. You receive, you replenish, you return multiplied. Let your hand become the altar. Let your voice become the oil. Let your declaration become the ignition. Because when you treat money as sacred, it begins to behave as sacred. And the world no longer calls you a consumer. It calls you a commander. This is how you escape the cycle of survival, not through more hustle, not through more tightening, but through more blessing. You are not here to hold on. You are here to let flow. Because circulation is not loss. It is divine motion. Write this in the comments now. Every seed I bless returns multiplied. This is your holy contract. This is your new spending rhythm. This is the sacred shift that turns every dollar into destiny. And the moment you commit to it, the moment you refuse to release another cent without blessing, you become the master of multiplication. Not because of the money in your account, but because of the faith in your mouth. And from now on, what you bless must multiply. There is a hidden oil, subtle but unstoppable. It coats the voice of the one who expects. It is not loud, it is not frantic, but it is irresistible to divine law. It is the oil of expectancy. And it begins to flow the moment you stop speaking from fear and start declaring from faith. This is not the faith of struggle, nor the belief that burns out when things get hard. This is not effort-based faith. This is positioned faith. Faith that doesn't hope something might happen. Faith that prepares the room, sets the table, and opens the window as if supply is already walking up the path. Because it is. Expectancy is not passive hope. It is spiritual authority, waiting with open arms. Let me say this clearly. You don't wait for wealth. You prepare for it. You clean the closet. You clear the space. You speak the increase. You act as if your delivery is already on its way. Because it is. Behind every financial miracle you've ever heard of, you'll find someone who made space for what wasn't visible yet. They didn't just believe in abundance. They expected it. They didn't just talk about overflow. They positioned their life to receive it. So now, beloved, what would it look like for you to live as if abundance was on the way? Would you still speak as though you were behind? Would you still spend as though supply was scarce? Would you still doubt like someone who's been denied? Or would you say, I expect lavish abundance. I expect divine provision. I expect unexpected wealth to locate me with precision. These are not affirmations. These are spiritual facts, spoken in the voice of expectancy, because what you expect, you attract, and what you prepare for, you receive. This is the rhythm of divine alignment. Your voice is the oil. Your expectancy is the wick. Your wealth is the flame. When you speak from rhythm and expect from certainty, the match is lit and the flame cannot be stopped. Most people declare with their lips but cancel with their preparation. They speak increase but live defensively. They declare overflow but expect delay. They whisper abundance but prepare for another month of just getting by. And the universe, it matches the preparation, not the pitch. So today, your preparation becomes your proof. You throw out the scarcity script. You stop rehearsing limitation. You clean your altar, not for a guest, but for a guaranteed arrival. Say this aloud. I live in a rich, friendly universe. Supply precedes my step. I move as one already answered. This is not pretending. This is embodiment. You are not trying to get something. You are becoming someone. The one who no longer speaks as if she's denied, the one who no longer negotiates with doubt, the one who no longer waits for evidence before she prepares the blessing. You are the one who opens the vault with her voice. You are the one who says, I expect abundance. I prepare as proof. I walk like wealth is inevitable. And because of this, opportunities begin to notice you. Doors begin to open without knocking. Checks begin to arrive without delay. Because expectancy creates magnetism. Write this in the comments now. I prepare for overflow, not as a guest, but as a guarantee. Let that be the posture you hold. Let that be the vibration that shapes your day. Let that be the identity you speak from now on. And remember this sacred truth. Heaven does not send what you ask for. Heaven sends what you're positioned to receive. So stand ready. Speak boldly. Expect without apology, because you are no longer begging. You are hosting abundance. You are its address. You are its vibration. You are its proof. Beloved, you are not becoming someone new. You are remembering someone ancient, the one who walked in wealth before time, the one who spoke and stars formed, the one who knew that lack was an illusion and speech was the master key. You were never broke. You were simply misnamed by the world, misidentified by your upbringing, misdirected by fear-based patterns. But the voice you now speak with, this sacred voice of wealth and command, is the voice you were always meant to remember. And in remembering, you return, not to effort, not to survival, but to dominion. Because here is the holy truth. You are not asking for abundance. You are abundance in form. When you say, I am wealth. I am the rhythm of divine prosperity. I am the voice of money's master. You are not pretending. You are proclaiming your true self. This is the final identity shift. This is where speech becomes embodiment. Most people spend their lives chasing what they already carry. They search for wealth outside, all while speaking death over the treasury within. But you now know better. You now speak from the Christ identity within, the divine self that has never known lack, never known fear, never known a day without overflow. It is this self who now speaks. I am wealth in motion. I am the presence of provision. I am the vibration that multiplies all things. You don't need to feel ready. You don't need to wait for confidence. You only need to speak from alignment. And as you do, your voice becomes the ceremony. Your declaration becomes the blessing. Your rhythm becomes the altar. This is why we declare again and again, not as desperate seekers, but as divine carriers of truth. This is not affirmation. This is activation. It is the final step most never take. Because when you speak as wealth, you stop acting like you're waiting for permission. You stop trying to get more. You start walking like you are the source. Now pause. Take a breath. Let the voice rise from the center of your being. Say aloud, I am not waiting for abundance. I am the evidence of abundance. And from this vibration, you move, you speak, you command. Now hear this clearly. Every dollar you touch is already blessed. Every opportunity drawn to you is already answered. Every desire you hold is already fulfilled in the invisible. Your words are not requests. They are blueprints. And now, beloved, you protect those blueprints. You do not allow contradiction to tear them down. You do not speak defeat in the afternoon after declaring dominion in the morning. This is the final spiritual discipline. Protect the seed with your silence. Water the seed with your praise. Trust the seed with your posture. Most miracles are delayed not by darkness, but by doubt. Not by others, but by your own undoing of what you just built. But now you protect your prophecy. You hold the vibration. You tend the field. You speak until the garden blooms. And when fear returns, you speak louder. When doubt whispers, you speak forward. When logic questions, you speak truth until it bows. This is your rhythm now. This is your wealth now. This is your identity now. Write this in the comments as your final seal. Wealth identity activated. I speak as the one who already is. Let it be your banner. Let it be your breath. Let it be your new default, because the one who speaks this way will never walk in lack again. You do not chase. You do not hustle. You do not hope. You host wealth. You embody provision. You reveal divine substance with every word. And now you understand. The secret was never outside of you. The universe wasn't ignoring you. You just hadn't spoken with the voice that wealth recognizes, but now you do, and everything must respond.